Sterling, we were talking about whether we would grill you about Kansas's too deep, and then I look and see that their defense is actually better than Tech's. So that's a little something they got going on.
Yeah, they you know, the thing about these guys is, I mean, you go back and you look at all these games, and you look early on in these games of they've been in every game early, and you go down the Big 12. You know, gamut that they have in front of us, and they've played with everybody early, and they've played with some people, you know, all the way through and to the end of the game. So, you know, the thing, you know, I know Coach Beatty and you know, a couple of those guys up there, and I know he's got those guys playing extremely hard. I mean, you go back and watch the entire Memphis game, and you see guys playing with urgency. You see guys flying around, playing with an attitude. You know, so he's got their program headed in the right direction. And those guys are playing extremely hard, and you know, I mean, their record doesn't indicate the kind of football team that they are. They're a good football team. They're really good up front. They're athletic, and you know, like I said, they're playing with a mission and a determination.
Just like yours, do you know Kenny Perry?
I do. Yeah, with his high school background and you know, being a Texas high school coach, former coach. He's a really good guy, really good coach.
On Deontay, real quick, I wanted to ask you too about, have you ever been in a situation where you want to get the win, obviously, but here's a guy who needs some numbers? How do you balance all that and trying to accomplish everything y'all want to accomplish?
It's really easy. I mean, the win is the first thing, and that's why this is the greatest team game there is, and that's our ultimate goal every Saturday. And he'll be the first to say that too. He'd rather have the win than the numbers. And the thing about it is just we've been fortunate enough that, and like I've said, that he's a huge part of what we do, and he fits our scheme, and he's able to execute and produce on Saturdays. And within that, he's been able to, and we've been able to produce the kind of numbers that he's been able to put up, and we've been able to put up as a football team. So. No, there's no part of that. I mean, our ultimate goal every Saturday is to win, and if we're fortunate enough to continue to, you know, for him to get those kind of numbers and have that kind of season, you know, then that's just kind of icing on the cake.
Right, Anwar?
Coach, when you went back and looked at the film, you know, what did you like and what didn't you like, and is there a word you can use other than execute when you give me your answer?
Just you just go back, and they're a really good football team. That's where I'll start, and we knew that. You know, that stat-wise, where they were in the nation defensively, where they sat in the conference defensively. You know, my personal opinion is they're the best defense that we've seen in the conference right now. So we knew we were going to have to fight and then have to battle for every point that we were going to be able to get. And just room for improvement. You know, we made some mistakes, and we didn't execute some things that we needed to, and those just are going to go back to, we need to, you know, improve, we need to get better, we need to be focused on that. You know, we need to continue to grow as a young, you know, a young team, and when there's young personnel on the field. So those are the things that we've talked about, that we've preached going into this week's practice. And identify with our kids and just focus on us. Again, that's what I'll take it back to is our mission right now is for us to continue to get better, our growth, you know, just to continue to progress. And, you know, those are things that we're on, and we're on a mission to do those.
Anybody else? Back, Andrew.
Coach, with so mmany freshmen making such an impact, how important is it to make a bowl game for starting this career and getting them motivated toward the future?
Yeah, it's huge. You know, I'll compare that back to being a high school coach and making the playoffs as a high school football team. And what you do, you end up being successful, and you end up getting a couple different things accomplished when you get in the playoffs and when you make a bowl game. One of the biggest thing is, especially how young we are, considering, you know, we're going to have 37 of the 44 two-deep coming back in a year. So what you do is, depending when that bowl game is, say it's either before Christmas or after Christmas, you're looking at 20-some-odd days of extra practice, okay? And that is huge for a young football team as we are. Just like when I was a high school football coach, you got the opportunity and the fortunate enough to make the playoffs. It adds another week of practice for all those, freshmen that you've identified are going to be really good players, and sophomore kids that played on the JV, and you get to bring those kids along, and they get another week of practice. And if you're fortunate enough to play week 2, week 3, week 4, you look up and you put those back-to-back years, and you've got a program that's headed in the right direction, because you've got a lot of young kids that have got a lot of extra reps that they wouldn't have gotten it. And that's how I view the bowl season and the bowl games, is that if you're fortunate enough to get in, it not only helps your current team, but all those young guys. And just like I said, we'll have 37 of those 44 returning in a year. So those 18, 20, 22 practices, you get an opportunity to really practice those guys and scrimmage those guys and start building and molding that, for your future. So that's huge. It's huge for us. It's obviously something that we're aiming for, and that we need to go get done, and we want to get done. Is to be bowl eligible and experience that and get our kids in a bowl game. And then obviously, for all the reasons I just said, that you get those 18, 20 extra practices to continue to grow and groom those young kids, and to continue to form your football team.
Go ahead, Michael.
Sterlin, Colin Johnson has really come on strong in the past few weeks. What have you seen from him in practice that's really contributed to it?
Yeah, just like I said a couple of weeks ago, I don't think there was any time frame on those young guys, but what you've seen is just his understanding, his knowledge of what we're trying to do schematically. The game speed has slowed down a little bit for him, so he's just seeing some pictures and things that he didn't necessarily see early on. So he's just continued to grow. He's continued to getting better. He's playing with a lot of confidence. He's made some plays and made some big plays in some crucial situations. So those have been huge for him and for us. But he's just steadily gotten better, and it's showing up. And he always works extremely hard at practice. Every rep, he's going full tilt, and he's making himself better. And that's how he's gotten to this point and where he's at right now.
Anwar?
Coach, 4 out of 5 of your losses been by 7 points or less. So, my question is, do you feel like you guys might be close, and what's your message been to the kids who, these games have been going out to the wire?
Yeah, just keep battling, okay? Keep fighting, keep getting better, and just be focused and be disciplined. That's the thing when you play in these one-possession games. And their losses or their wins, what it does when you go back and evaluate it, it's going to come down to probably 5 plays or less in the game that really tilt that thing one way or the other. And so what you do is you're just understanding, knowing situational football, continue to be focused, understanding, knowing what you need to do schematically, and then just continue to battle and just continue to fight and just continue to will yourself to win.
Brian?
I was just curious about, it doesn't seem like Devin's been targeted a lot these last few weeks. Is there any reason for that? Or?
No, he's gotten a couple balls, and he's still a young guy that's continued to grow and continue, just like Colin, just continue to get better, every week and put himself in a situation, where he can play more plays, on Saturdays. And those are things that he's just continually done through the season.
Rick Taylor?
You're coming up to almost a year being here in Austin. What about your first year has been surprising, and what has been kind of hard for you to get through?
Yeah, it's been like this everywhere that I've been in the past. Being new to a conference, that's probably the first thing that sticks out to me, is you just don't really know or understand everything about a conference until you go through it. And that's been part of the that I'm living right now and that we're doing is you're going through the conference, you're going to different environments, to different stadiums, and seeing how things are. That's probably the first thing that sticks out to me, and then just watching and continuing to grow our offense as a core and as a unit, and continue to get these guys to get where we want them to get offensively. And that's the thing that has been exciting. We've made mistakes along the way, but we've just continued to battle. We've continued to fight, and guys continue to work hard. They continue to be bought in. You know, Shane's development as a young guy is something that obviously every week, you know, we're looking at and continue to get better. And that's something that he's done as he continues to see, like I've talked about before, every rep is a quality rep for him, whether it's in practice or obviously on Saturdays. I mean, he's seeing pictures maybe that he's seen or he hasn't seen. He's seeing situations that he's seen or he hasn't seen. So every one of those is just a growth rep for him. So you just take every rep, every scenario, and then you just put it in a bag as an offensive unit, you know, for Shane as a quarterback. And, you know, you just pull that out and you recognize it for the moment or the situation. And have we been here? Have we done it? Or is this new? And those are all teachable learning moments for our kids. And those are things as coaches that we identify off of, that we coach off of, and that we teach off of. So, you know, that's been the biggest thing. And my biggest focus, obviously, is taking care of the offense and taking care of our kids as a unit and as a core, and just continue to get those guys to grow, continue to get those guys to stay together, continue to get those guys to produce. And lead them and show them along the way, you know, and then that's what we talk about. Our biggest deal is to prep them for the test every week, and then the test comes on Saturday. Then our job on Saturday is to be the TA and help them pass the test. And, you know, that's our mission and that's our goal. And when you got a young football team and, you know, young guys, I remember looking out there at one point on Saturday, and there was 5 true freshmen on the field. There was Colin, there was Devin, there was Shaq snapping to Shane, and Shane handing to Kyle. So you're just every rep and every situation like that. You know, you're just growing with that, and those have been real positive things for us, been for our football team and for us as an offensive unit.
Last one in the back, Andrew.
Coach, Shane saw an intense amount of pressure this past week. I guess looking ahead a little bit, what are some of the key things that you hope he improves upon with an off season under his belt after 1 year? Yeah,
just being able to recognize and see some pictures. He did. He got quite a bit of pressure on Saturday, and we knew that was going to happen. And it goes back to just the answer that I just gave her is just a lot of that were first-time looks, you know, live bullets. And, you know, he did a good job with quite a few of those scenarios and situations. And then there were some that we didn't execute as an offensive unit, and those obviously affected us. But, again, just him continue to see pictures, him continue to have knowledge, and just an understanding of, you know, when he sees something, being confident and knowing, okay, this is what I need to do with this pitcher. This is where the ball needs to go, or this is what I need to do. And just like I said, those are all teachable, learning, coachable moments for him, and moments that he absorbs and coaching points that he absorbs. And then he took to the field today and you know, executed some things that would carry it over from Saturday today in practice. So those are positive things and you know, things that we obviously like to see for him to head in that direction continually.
Thank you, Sterling.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.